this canvas they already આપણે discuss કર્યું છે. If the article is not yours, can't you do what you want with them? તમે પબ્લિશ કરો છો એ વસ્તુ તો અલગ છે, પણ જો તમારે આર્ટિકલ પબ્લિશ ના કર્યો હોય પણ બીજાનો આર્ટિકલ જો તમારે વાપરવો હોય તો એ આર્ટિકલ વાપરતી વખતે પણ તમારે આ બધી પોલિસીસ છે જનરલી તમને ખબર હોય તો તમે એને સારી રીતે વાપરી શકો. તમે કોઈ એવો આર્ટિકલ લ્યો છો કે જે તમારો પોતાનો નથી, આર્ટિકલ બીજાનો છે અને બીજાના આર્ટિકલને જો તમારે વાપરવો છે તો એ આર્ટિકલ તમે વાપરી શકો કે નહીં એના માટે પણ તમારે જે જર્નલ પર એ આર્ટિકલ પબ્લિશ થયો છે એની કોપીરાઇટ પોલિસી અને બધી વસ્તુની તમને ખબર હોવી જોઈએ. એટલે એટલા માટે તમારે આ સ્પેરો રોમિયો છે that is also the self archiving. Self archiving એટલે એ self archive કરે છે એટલે બીજાના ડેટા લઈ અને પોતાની પાસે રાખે છે. It is not self publishing. Self publishing એટલે એ લોકો પોતે પબ્લિશ નથી કરતા. Depositing your digital publications online, institutional repositories and personal website, make full text available, visible and searchable, usage and impact, and different stages of the publications are also there. There are some publications which are known as the preprint. So now that trend is came that before publishing the articles, you are just keeping it on the preprint server, right? એટલે preprint server એટલે તમારો આખો આર્ટિકલ રેડી છે પણ તમે હજી કોઈ જર્નલમાં સબમિટ નથી કર્યો એટલે તમે એને પ્રીપ્રિન્ટ સર્વર ઉપર પબ્લિશ કરો. પ્રીપ્રિન્ટ સર્વર ઉપર પબ્લિશ કરો એટલે વર્લ્ડમાં બધાને દેખાશે, એની ઉપર માણસો કમેન્ટ કરી શકશે અને એ આર્ટિકલને ઇવન સાઇટેશન બી મળશે અને પછી એની સાથે ઘણી બધી જર્નલ લિંક હોય કે વેર યુ કેન ડાયરેક્ટલી ટ્રાન્સફર યોર પબ્લિકેશન ફોર ધેટ, રાઈટ? Post-print means final draft after being peer-reviewed and marking your revisions, and publisher's version PDF, scanned or digital file of the archive from the publications. Many times what happens that whatever your article is there, that is revised. So after revision, the journal is not allowing it to publish or in a private circulation, or even the publisher's version, whatever the PDF is there, that is also not they are allowing for the publication. Even it was happened with me also. I was having one article with Ranjit Devkar sir. Ranjit Devkar sir નું lecture હતું ને એમનું. So we had one publication in the Pharmacology journal, and after getting the publication, we have just put that article in a full text form in my ResearchGate account. So ResearchGate account, immediately they have just asked us to remove. So even after publication, they are not allowing us to publish on the ResearchGate even in a private mode also. So that way, each publication or each publication house or journal are having their own kind of the policy. So that is the reason that we should know the more details about that. So we will just see this online also, but this is the basic website. અત્યારે થોડી ફરી ગઈ છે, આપણે હમણાં જોઈશું તો તમને ખ્યાલ આવશે. So here normally we are just going for the searching the publisher copyright policy and self-archiving policies. You have to put your journal title, publisher name, whatever it may be, and you can just go for the entire part, right? So this will go whenever it will have. Now just will observe that what is the full form of this SPERA services. So this is basically hosted from the United Kingdom, University of the Nottingham, and Center for Research and Communication. SPERA services securing a hybrid environment for research, preservation, and access. So basically, this is known as the securing a hybrid environment for research, preservation, and access. So I think now you at least have the idea about that. That initially we had everything on the print. પહેલા બધું પ્રિન્ટમાં થતું હતું અને એ વખતે પ્રિન્ટમાં તમે કોઈ પણ વસ્તુ પ્રિન્ટ લઈ અને તમે એની ઝેરોક્સ કરીને વાપરી શકો એક જ ઓપ્શન ઓપન હતું પબ્લિક માટે. પણ જ્યારથી ઇન્ટરનેટ આવી ગયું, now it is possible that you can have the soft copy of that in the easily shareable form. So that is created the opportunity that you can share your article without investing any money to so many people in the world without any. So that is created the possibility that we should have some kind of the hybrid environment in which your articles can be preserved also and it can be also accessed with the other person. So from that only, for this secure hybrid research, preservation, access, this entire services came, and that is known as the SPERA services. Then Romeo, that is the original project from the University of the Nottingham, and that is basically about the rights, metadata, and the open archiving. So these are the basic details. There is no need to go in much detail of this. At least you can remember the full form of this software. So that is good for you. This SPERA services. So basically this SPERA services that will have the Romeo. That database contains the publisher policy for the self-archiving journal articles, peer-reviewed journals, and the series. Some of the conference service. This database does not contain any books, thesis, or the conference paper, right? So that is about the Romeo, what it will have. The second one is the Juliet, that is the database of open access policies from the funder researcher. Check this to see the grant requirement, and Romeo pulls the data to summarize the journals compliant with the funder policies. So in India, that is not common, but suppose you are working in the foreign universities or you are having some foreign funding, that funder will also have their own policy. That suppose you are getting the funding from the DST, then DST will tell that whatever your articles are there, that should be published in the open access journal only. And even they will give the fund for that. So whenever you are writing your paper and when you are going for the publication, they will ask for also the funding source. And if you are writing the funding source, so directly they will know that this funding source is allowing you to publish in the open access, they are giving the charges or not. So that way, this Romeo pulls the entire funder policy also along with that. But typically for the India, very less kind of the funding agencies are there. And the fact is the funders and authors compilation tool. See if journal compiles with the funder open access requirement, pulls the data from the Romeo and Juliet, right? So this is about like that only, that suppose I'm getting the funding from the DST and DST is telling that they will give the entire free shift for all the open access journal which are published in the elsewhere, for example. Then depending upon this condition, already suppose I'm adding my DST funding agency, then automatically this software, it will find out that how many journals are there where I can publish the article for which funding is already available to me. So for that, this fact is basically utilized. બરાબર? એટલે આ ફેક્ટ એવું કામ કરે છે કે જે જર્નલની રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ છે એની સાથે ફંડરની રિક્વાયરમેન્ટને બી ટ્રેસ મેચ કરે છે. અને ફંડરે એમ કીધું હોય કે હું એલ્સવેરમાં ઓપન એક્સેસ જર્નલના પૈસા આપીશ અને તમે એમ કહો કે મારું પ્રોજેક્ટ અથવા તો મારું પબ્લિકેશન છે એ આ ફંડિંગ એજન્સીનું થયેલું છે, તે ઓટોમેટિકલી એ ફંડિંગ એજન્સી જેના જેના પૈસા દે છે એ બધી જર્નલને એ સાથે તમને લિસ્ટ આઉટ કરીને આપશે. Then last one is the open door. So there is the directory of open access repositories, repository list, search for repositories, search repository content, and sister project to the DOAJ. So this is basically a open access repositories. Open access repositories એટલે એવી સાઇટ કે જ્યાં તમે તમારા આર્ટિકલ્સ છે એ મૂકી શકો અને એ આર્ટિકલ્સ છે એ તમે વાપરી શકો. So as I told earlier that each journal they will also allow entry of the some article in some specific repository, but they will not allow the entry of the articles in other repositories. Whatever example I have given, that suppose I am going for the preprint server on the one preprint server journal, I have published my one article. After getting published, they are allowing me to continue on the preprint server. But suppose I'm keeping it on the ResearchGate, then again they will not allow. So depending upon this open door, you can find out that from this journal, how many kind of the open repositories are there where I can put my articles or where I cannot put my articles, right? એટલે આ બેઝિકલી તમને એ કામ આપશે કે તમે કઈ જગ્યાએ તમારા આર્ટિકલ ફ્રીમાં મૂકી શકશો. Why this fighting is there throughout the world? Because now we are working on the quality publication, and our basic condition of the quality publication depends upon the definition of citation. Suppose my articles are having the more citation, then consequently I will be getting the more H index, more I index, and other. So that is the reason that I should have more citation to my article. And to get more citation to my article, what I can do is how to publish it more. જેવી રીતે ફેસબુકમાં તમે વધારે લાઇક મેળવો તો તમને વધારે ફાયદો થાય. અને એમાં જો યુટ્યુબમાં બી સેમ વસ્તુ છે, જો તમે અમુક લાઇક મળે વધારે, then you can also have some kind of the rewards also. So that is the reason that even we are just going for Facebook and we are observing that so many TikTok videos and so many persons are getting even money from that one. Same way in the case of the science, we are not getting the money, but at least we are getting the international recognition. So for that purpose, this entire comparison is quite important, right? Okay, so this is the first part of that. Now we'll be just taking it from the some other public entire presentation, and that presentation is also made by the company only. So this is the Sphera service, Romeo Juliet, and plus Open Door. So that is the original publication, original PPT of the company only. So this introduction, already we have done so many things, but few things are there in this. So for that reason, we are just going through this. So what is this Sphero and Romeo? So how it is developed, that entire history is given in this. So in 1999, Open Archive Initiative, OAIS, came in the picture. And due to that only, lot of things were kept in the metadata type of things in the documents held in them. Citation index, Indian citation index કરાયું. એની જેમ સૌથી પહેલા 1999 માં we had that Open Archive Initiative, and they've just kept depositories of all this metadata about the document from the journals. From 2000, that is came in the form of the e-print software. 2000 onwards, that becomes a protocol for metadata harvesting. In 2002, University of the Michigan, they've just launched one specific server that is known as the UISter. So that is normally utilized for searching the entire part. And from that 2002 onwards, slowly it has gone further, and then we had the entire development of the new things out of that, right? So why we are just going for this? So basically, our attitude is getting changed. Availability of the technology influence a shift in the academia author attitude what now wanted to be. They maximize the impact of their paper by making them freely available on the web. So as I told earlier, that if you are making your article free on the web, then that will be having the more impact. So that is the reason that now people are just running behind open access. In other words, author and researchers want to continue the publishing in the traditional manner and then self-archiving the full text of their articles on their own website or an institutional repositories, right? The institutional repository માં બી પોતાના આર્ટિકલ રાખવા માંગે છે અને full text ને પોતે મૂકવા પણ માંગે છે. એના માટે So that is the requirement of the modern author, that they want to go for both the aspect, traditional aspect, and even they want to go for the modern aspect. The demand and response. So due to this demand, author and researchers want to archive the current publication on their own website or institutional repositories. In response to that, what the publisher has done, publisher has announced the new policies and guidelines detailing that what authors can and cannot self-archive along with the associated conditions. So when the demand is came, even the publisher has also developed the different kind of the policy, and according to their own requirement, they've just changed the entire mode of the publication policies. So far, so good, right? But when we are just going for the increase in this, the author and researchers want to archive the past and current publication on their own website or institutional repositories. More publication published in a different journal over last year, and different publishers have the different policies, guideline detailing what authors can and cannot self-archive along with the associated conditions. So what happening is that as the journals are increasing, as the publisher house are increasing, similarly that policies are also getting increased. ઇનિશિયલી આપણે જોયું જેમ કે જેવી ઓથરની ડિમાન્ડ હતી એવી રીતે પબ્લિશરે પોતે પોલિસી ચેન્જ કરવાનું ચાલુ કર્યું. પણ હવે છેલ્લા કેટલાક વર્ષોમાં એટલા બધા પબ્લિશર્સ અને એટલી બધી જર્નલો વધી ગઈ છે કે તમારે એઝ અ રિસર્ચર તમારે જર્નલમાં આર્ટિકલ પબ્લિશ કરવું હોય તો તમારે બધા જ જર્નલના રિસર્ચ પોલિસીના ડોક્યુમેન્ટ તમારે વાંચવા પડે. એ ડોક્યુમેન્ટ પછી તમારે નક્કી કરવું પડે કે આ મને કામ આવે છે કે નહીં. એટલે આવી બધી કન્ડિશનના લીધે આપણે જે જોયું એની જેમ રોમિયોની જરૂરિયાત છે ઊભી થઈ. તો રોમિયો એન્ટાયર થિંગ વી હેવ ડન, so we are not going for the repetition of the same thing again, but that is about some kind of the history and other part, right? So this is about the Romeo part. Now we'll be just going through the website and we'll see that how it can work. So this is basically website of the SHERPARoMEO. Website looks quite simple. You can just see that in this we are having the about, search, statistic, help and other things. Suppose you want to go for the entire part, then you can just go for the search field, right? In the search field, if you are going for the searching, then you will have the simple search tool like this. Suppose I'm just writing the name of the journal. Suppose I'm writing the Journal of Bacteriology. So now you can see that Journal of Bacteriology, that is the one journal that was published by the so many people with some kind of the addition and deletion, right? Suppose you are observing the bacteriology journal, then first of all that journal was produced by the American Society of Microbiology, and after that with the same word so many people have developed the same journal, Journal of Bacteriology. or Open Journal of Bacteriology or International Journal of Bacteriology. Suppose we are taking the example of this and we are just going for the search, right? So you can find out that this is the original journal, Journal of Bacteriology, and that was published by the ASM, American Society of Microbiology. Now, suppose you observe over here, then publisher polish rate is given, right? But in this, you can observe that there is no text. Right? American Society of Microbiology માંથી આ જર્નલ પબ્લિશ થાય છે. આ જર્નલમાં અહીંયા સર્ચ કરીએ એટલે એનો ISSN નંબર, URL અને પબ્લિશરની ડિટેલ આપી અને આખી પબ્લિકેશનની પોલિસી છે એ મને આઇકોનના ફોર્મમાં દેખાય છે. અહીંયા કોઈ પણ જાતની ટેક્સ્ટ નથી દેખાતી. So this will have the different sections. Suppose you are having the first section, that is the published version. Open access pathway permit by this journal policy are listed below by article version. Click on the pathway for the no detail view. Right? Suppose I want to know that what is the policy for the published version, then I can just see over here. Suppose I'm clicking to this, then you can just see that entire detail. Prerequisite funder. So that already I told earlier that prerequisite funders means suppose you are having the fund from the Wellcome Trust, then they are allowing the funding to publish the article in this journal. Similarly, the other societies where it is there, Medical Research Council and so many others. So this will give you the entire list. And suppose I'm having the fund from the Wellcome Trust, then I can just go for the publication directly because there will not be any problem. Second, this is about the OA fees. So this pathway has an open access fee associated with. So suppose you want to produce the journal in the open access form, then you have to give the more money with comparison to the other. This is the OA publishing. This pathway include the open access publishing that already covered. This about the embargo. Embargo means many journals are having that policy that they will not allow the article to become public for around 1 year or 2 years. But after that, they are allowing this article to remain public in a domain or even after 6 months. In this, such kind of the relaxation is not there. So that is the reason that it is written as the no embargo. The license is the CC by 4.0. I think Praveen Dudagra has already shown you the different kind of the license. So according to that different kind of the license which you are having with this, that is the CC. Publishers depository, where the publisher will deposit your article. So that will go directly in the PubMed Central. So suppose you are searching in the PubMed Central or NCBI, then you can get this article. And even PubMed Central is the open access or the full journal repository also, right? So this is the location, name repository, PubMed Central and journal website. So basically your article is authentically remain present at two places. One, at the original journal website, and second in the PubMed Central. And these are the condition. Published source must be acknowledged with the citations. So again, some other details are there associated with. Accepted version, 6-month institutional repositories. Embargo 6 month means accepted version. This is about the published version. This is about the accepted version. So accepted version, you can just go and you can just keep it on this 6-month period. After 6 months, you can keep it on the institutional depositories, subject depositories, funder designated locations and other location, whatever are now they are allowing, that is also given over here. So you can see that in the published version, articles will remain only at the 2 places. But the accepted version, that is allowed to keep at the 3-4 more sites. So that would be the difference between both of this, right? Suppose you are coming to the lower version to that is known as the submitted version. Suppose I'm submitting the article and whatever the article I'm keeping, so that is also present in the different form. So that will come over here. No embargo. In this, there is no kind of the limitation of the time. Location is the preprint repositories. So Bioregia is the preprint repository which is associated with this journal. So you can keep over here. Condition must be updated with the citation and DIO upon the publication. So that will be also normal question. Suppose I'm keeping some article on the preprint server, right? So at that time, that article became common. But after that, suppose I'm publishing the article with some journal, then now that credit will go to the different kind of the journal. So for that, what you have to do is whatever the article is there in the preprint server, that should be linked with the DOI. So when you are clicking to DOI, original article will come. Similar to that, some of the notes and other things are there. So like that, all the details are available for each one journal in this, right? So that is a thing which you have to learn from this. We'll just see the help file of this. Today the internet connection is not good, but I will just supply this link, so you can just have the all the videos of all video tutorials of this. So you will get the better idea about that. Just we'll see the user guide over here. So this is the entire user guide of the SHERPARoMEO. So this is the basic detail already we have seen. These are the different kind of the summary of the changes they have given, and they have given the entire detail whatever we have observed in a similar way, and they will give the different kind of the understanding pathway. So these are the understanding pathway A and pathway B. Already we have seen the details of that, right? This is the layout which we have already observed. Here you can get the details about the published version, pathway A, published version, pathway B, accepted version, and submitted version, and where you can just go for the publication or where you can put your things, that is given. These are the different icon key, their name and description. Let's suppose you are observing this article, this kind of design. So that is the sign for the additional open access fees. So this pathway requires the payment of the fee in addition to the normal publication fees that may require to make the article open access. So instead of reading the entire policy, simply depending upon this icon and other, you can just find out the relevant journal for you. And other things are also there, but this glossary and basic kind of the things that would be good for you to understanding. So this is for the Sparrow and Romeo. So I think that much is enough for this. Now, in your syllabus, even they've kept the one other thing, that one software which is produced by the Savitribai Phule University that you have written, but that software is already not there. That is only the UGC care list, and I think this already you have seen from the so many people. તમને ઘણા બધા કદાચ આ UGC care list already દેખાડ્યું હશે. એટલે આની વધારે ડિટેલ નથી દેખાડતો, but in this you can just find out the group 1 clone journal, and you can have the group 2 clone journal. Journal, already UGC care list, they've just given the entire thing. That suppose I'm getting the one journal which is having the Abru, and this is the Abru journal. So what they've changed is only they've just added the name of the journal in this, and some website changes there. Otherwise, it will remain common only. So you will get misguided that this is already there in the UGC care list. So that is a common thing which is happening. And to avoid this only, the UGC has created this UGC care list. Similar to that, even there are some other mode by which also you can find out the such kind of the predatory or the low quality journal. So this I'm showing that this also I will share with you. So this is the list of the publishers which are predatory by nature, right? So predatory publishing, suppose you want to avoid, then what you can do is at least you should know that which journals or which publishers are the predator, right? So first of all, let me show you the characteristics of the predatory journal, because I think this topic is already done by the others, so I'm not going in much detail, but these are the so many characteristics which are given for the journals which are predatory in nature, right? But even after reading this, all these things, you'll be not able to find out that actually which is the publication or which is the journal which is the predatory in nature. So for that reason only, we are just going for such kind of the list of the journals. So this is the list of the journals which are the hijack journal, like the clone journal. This is the hijack journal, and this is the hijack journal, and this is the authenticated journal. In India, UGC care list, you have kept the clone journal name, but over here the name is different, right? So you can see that there would be slight change in the name of the journal, otherwise it will remain same only. So this is the list of the hijack journal. Then in different journals, you'll also find out the different kind of the matrices also. So ideally, as per UGC latest list, we are just referring the impact factor, Thomson's Reuters impact factor. But besides that, so many matrices also there, right? So these all are the matrices that are misleading matrices, right? Suppose you observe that A Global Index, Advanced Science Index, African Quality Center for Journals, ASJR, or Arab Impact Factor. So these all are the impact factor or the such kind of the matrices which are generated by their journal or some small group of organization, and this is not having the authentication throughout the world. So this should be avoided, right? Even you can just find out that some journals will have the impact factor of around 5, 20, or even more, but that would be
Okay.
coming. So these are the characteristics of the predatory journal, right? Predatory journal ઉપર તમે આખું lecture જોઈ લીધું. These all are the characteristics of the predatory journal. So by this you can make out that this journal is predatory or not, right? So this everything I will give you in the material. So don't try to read over here. Just recognize that this article is having this kind of the information, right? Secondly, as we have seen the clone journal list on the UGC care list, similarly internationally at this place, Gloria, you can also get the list of the hijack journal. So list of the hijack journal is also similar to the clone journal. You can see that there would be some change in the website or there would be some change in the name of the journal, and they will have the same kind of the information in the name and other. So that will create the misleading information to you. Similar to that, even you can see that there are so many impact factors that is written on the journal. We have to just find out and we have to calculate only the Thomson's Reuters index, remaining all impact factors that are not a valid impact factor. So these are the list of all the non-valid kind of the impact factors. So suppose you are observing that some impact factor is given, global impact factor. So don't think that that is really a global. That would be the journal's own impact factor, or that will be totally fraud one. So this is the list of the such kind of the matrices systems which you can get. Then list of the standalone journals. So there are few journals that is already recognized that these journals are the predatory in the nature, and they will also having the open access. So instead of finding here and there, you can just find out that here only that these are the internationally non-predatory journal. નેશનલ જર્નલ તો ઘણી બધી હશે બધી જગ્યાએ, બટ વોટ નોર્મલ ફિલિંગ વી હાવિંગ કે આપણે કોઈ ઇન્ટરનેશનલ જર્નલમાં પેપર પબ્લિશ કરશું એટલે ઇન્ટરનેશનલ જર્નલ તો સારી જશે, બટ ધીસ આર ધી જર્નલ્સ વિચ આર ઓલ્સો internationally also having the same kind of the predatory nature. American International Journal of Contemporary Research. તમને જોઈને એમ લાગે કે આ જર્નલ તો બહુ સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ હશે, but this also is an example of the predatory journal. This is also the predatory publishers list. So journal to journal, but even we are having the list of the entire publishers which are totally predatory in the nature. So these are the publishers, and suppose you are getting any kind of the publication from this academia publication or the academia research or the academia scholarly journals. So these all journals are basically predatory in nature. So these are the list of the journals where you can get the information about all such kind of the substandard quality of the things, right? So from there you can just get the